Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. We're that show that gives you ideas to lift you up throughout the week or give you something to do when you're taking a break on the weekend. We talk to people from all across the country about cool things you could do right here in your neighborhood. On this week's show, we got this.
So my car jumped a curb, hit a lamppost. This was a freeway, so I was going at a good rate of speed, and then came to rest about 40 feet later up against the wrong side of a guardrail.
We found that 1 in 4 girls between the ages of 4 and 6 years old were already expressing some dissatisfaction around their body image or appearance.
All that and more on Rise and Unwind. Student loan payments are back after a 3-year break, and it's hitting borrowers pretty hard. According to a new survey, 74% of student loan holders have had to cut back in their budgets, with some slashing up to about $1,000 a month just to make the payments. And here's a shocker. 31% are now less likely to continue their education. So today, we have Dr. Billy Hensley from the National Endowment for Financial Education here today to break down the numbers and help us understand the long-term impact. Dr. Hensley, good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, since last October, borrowers have been making student loan payments again. What does this new survey tell us about how that's impacted their financial situations?
Yeah, as you noted, last October, when the repayment pause ended, we explored what borrowers believed or expected would be the impact on their finances. So here we are a year later, and we know that the reality of how borrowers are managing their loans has changed a bit. But this is no small number of folks. 26% of the population currently have an outstanding loan themselves or someone close to them, like a child or a parent or grandchild. There's some positive news and some concerning news here. The positive being the majority say they are doing okay right now. But keep in mind, nearly 1 in 5 may have not had to make payments yet. 27% say the end of the pause has negatively impacted their lives, which is lower than the 49% who were saying this last fall. Now, the concerning news here, the monthly budgets have been strained, with 3 and 4 making cuts, 28% cutting up to $500. And as you noted at the top, 21% cutting as much as $1,000 out of their budget. Last fall, the anticipated cuts was more along the 4 out of 5. So it's a little better than the borrowers were thinking. And these polls are snapshots of different times and feelings, and those are always changing.
So based on the data, how have borrowers been handling payments since the pause ended last fall?
Well, there's a bit of silver lining here, as most borrowers actually have kept up with payments since the end of the pause. 56% have made at least a few payments, and 46% have made most or every payment. But note that some may have not been making regular payments, or their frequency may be spread out, because if they are part of an income-driven repayment plan, or maybe their payments are set to 0, or maybe some are still in forbearance.
And college, it costs a ton. What advice do you offer borrowers to lighten their student loan load, especially if they're starting out in their careers?
Well, to your point, higher education is expensive. The annual cost is averaging just over $28,000 a year. But there are a couple of ways to help. One is financial education, especially in K-12 or in community settings. Research shows that you borrow better, you borrow less for college, you borrow fewer private loans, for example, and you're 21% less likely to have credit card debt. And, poise this and think about your long-term return on your investment, and your earning potential over time. Please fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. A lot of people do not complete that because they think their income is too high or the application is too complicated or what have you. And so those applications will be available according to the Department of Education on December 1st. So do that, look for grants, scholarships, understand the difference between public and private loans, look into work study. And, this is a return on you and your lifetime potential, and don't overborrow. Be careful about how much you do borrow. Don't just accept the full amount if you don't need the full amount.
Dr. Hensley, thanks for joining me this morning. Where can we go for more information?
Studentaid.gov is a great place to start. More information there. And then the National Consumer Law Center has a toolkit on student aid and student loans. And then if you have more interest in the data about the survey, go to nefe.org.
Dr. Hensley, thanks for joining me, my friend.
Thank you.
Hey, if you're curious about where the next wave of automobile engineers and industry leaders might come from, well, look no further than the students competing in the EcoCar EV Challenge. Right now, they're in Boston for the fall workshop, pushing toward into year 3 of the competition. These students are working on the next generation of battery electric vehicles, combining cutting-edge technology with the auto industry's decarbonization goals. So joining us from Boston are Nathan Singeisen and Embry Riddle. Joining us from Boston are Nathan Singeisen from Embry Riddle and Austin Brown, Director of the Vehicle Technologies Office at Department of Energy. Hey, good morning, you two. How are you?
Good morning. Feeling good. Thank you.
All right, Austin, can you give us a quick rundown of the EcoCar Challenge and what the competition is aiming to accomplish?
Sure. We have really big goals for this competition. So the basics are it's a 4-year auto engineering competition where we have teams from 13 universities competing against each other to re-engineer a specially donated Cadillac Lyriq. That's an all-electric vehicle. The competition is co-sponsored by DOE, the Department of Energy, General Motors, and MathWorks. And each of these teams will re-engineer the vehicle to work on its propulsion system, as well as adding and modifying special connected and automated vehicle features and developing methods for the vehicle to talk to the infrastructure, to actually talk to its environment, and then showcase what we can accomplish with those advanced technologies. But the real goal of the competition is to do our part, help create the opportunity for these students to build themselves an excellent career in the automotive field.
And Nathan, can you tell us about these connected and automated vehicle features, and how are they being integrated into the EcoCar builds?
Gladly. Yeah, the connected and automated, one of the main connected and automated vehicle features we're going to be focusing on is called a V2X. It stands for vehicle to everything. So that's essentially the way that the vehicle communicates with anything on the street with it, other cars, intersections, possibly pedestrians crossing in front of it. The main way we're going to be doing that is through the use of LiDAR and radar. So the intersections will be able to communicate directly to the vehicle using radar, so the vehicle knows at all times the state of the intersections.
And Austin, how does the EcoCar Challenge fit into the Department of Energy's broader research on connected and automated vehicles?
Yeah, I mean, we're the Department of Energy. It's in our name, so we care a lot about energy and the energy impacts of these technologies. We know that automation features and connectivity could really dramatically change the way that these vehicles operate. And so we're deeply interested in studying what can we accomplish, what are the benefits we can get, not just for helping reduce our dependence on petroleum, but also for things like improving safety of transportation, improving efficiency, reducing traffic congestion, all of these big goals that we have for the transportation system. At Department of Energy, we do a lot of work with national lab partners, with universities, and with industry. But this competition is the key way that we get involved with students to help go both build and demonstrate the technologies of tomorrow, and also get that skill set to be ready to go to be the next generation of leaders to help develop those technologies.
So how is EcoCar pushing the limits when it comes to testing and evaluating these features in real world scenarios?
Yeah, so right now, we just don't have a standard way to understand what are the impacts of this. We might have an algorithm that's developed by a company to automate a vehicle, but since this is being developed independently by many different industry participants, both startups and auto manufacturers, we don't have a standard basis to say, okay, what are the benefits? What are the impacts? We don't have a great way to test everything together. So part of the benefits of this competition is that each team will be testing its vehicle and putting them up against the performance of the other teams in situations like out there on a test track where we can test the vehicles in controlled conditions, and in the lab on something called a dynamometer, which you can think of as a treadmill for cars, where you can very precisely measure the energy use of that vehicle. So through this, we think that we can actually help pioneer new approaches to create comparable ways to compare apples to apples for these different technology deployment options and showcase with high confidence what are the real world benefits of these different implementation approaches.
And Nathan, what are some of the biggest takeaways that students involved in this competition? And what skills and experiences do they leave with?
So for EcoCar specifically at Embry Riddle, I mean, it's going to give you everything that a college student could hope for. It's going to give you a group of friends to connect really closely with. and it's going to give you experience to set yourself very, very far apart from any competitors in the field. And that's not only in the automotive industry. Embry-Riddle is mainly a pilot and an aerospace engineering school. It's going to set you apart no matter where you go.
All right, Austin, where can people follow along and learn more about this competition?
Well, I mean, one way to follow along is just keep up with the cool stuff coming out of the auto industry. If there's a new innovation, you can bet that an EcoCar alum probably had something to do with it. We have more than 30,000 students who've gone through different implementations of the program at more than 100 campuses over a 35-year history. So it's really something we're extremely proud of at the Department of Energy. And if you want to keep up in the more near term, you can go to avtcseries.org on the web, or you can check us out anywhere at EcoCar on any sort of social media platform you can find us. That's EcoCar.
Thank you, too, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lily, thank you for having us.
You know, the 2025 Medicare open enrollment period is just around the corner. And this year, seniors have more ways to save on their healthcare costs than ever before. So thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, and new benefits are rolling out, including a $2,000 cap on out-of-pocket prescription drug costs and reduced insulin costs. So today, we have Leslie Dach, founder of Protect Our Care, to break down how these changes could ease the financial burden on seniors and help ensure access to essential medications. Welcome to the show, Leslie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
All right, Leslie, over the past few years, seniors have faced a real challenge with the rising cost of prescription drugs. Can you give us an idea of what those challenges have looked like?
I can, and I'm a senior citizen on Medicare, so I can speak firsthand. In America, the pharmaceutical companies charge Americans 3 to 4 times more than people in any other country. And as a result, 1 in 4 seniors have been forced to skip doses or cut their doses in half just so they can, because they don't have enough money to buy the drugs that keep them alive. And that's should be unacceptable in America. And now what we have with Medicare will be better than ever. This will really allow our seniors not only to save money, but importantly, to be able to take care of themselves.
And what are some of the key Medicare benefits under the Inflation Reduction Act that seniors should be aware of as they head into this open enrollment?
Yeah, because they have to make a few choices, but most of these benefits just come along with the ride if you're on Medicare. So the most important thing they need to do is take advantage of them. So insulin, now capped at $35 a month, used to be hundreds of dollars for people. So take know that you can afford your insulin and take it. Free vaccines, shingles, pneumonia, very difficult diseases that are more prevalent amongst those over 65, now completely free. People were, just couldn't afford to take those before. Now they can. Go take them. And then on drugs, nobody, no matter how expensive their drug, will pay more than $2,000 a year for all of their pharmaceuticals put together. So that's a game changer for people. That also comes with the package, but people need to know that. They also have the opportunity to smooth out the payments so that you don't have to pay the $2,000 at one time. Basically, you can get an interest-free loan, and you pay it when you can afford, over the course of the year. So people need to sign up for Medicare. They need to pick the right drug plan that's good for them. And then what they really need to do is to take advantage of it.
And what steps should senior take during this year's Medicare open enrollment to make sure they're getting the most out of these new savings and benefits?
Well, I think the Medicare website is very, very good, medicare.gov. They should go there. That will explain to them the choices that they have. And also they have a very good call center that you could ask questions to. So get personally engaged, go to the website, make the right choice for you and your family, and then take advantage of the benefits. And, for those who, want to learn more, they can also go to our website, protectourcare.org. I mean, there are still, crazily enough, political threats to these benefits with people trying to take them away. So folks who care about that aspect of this can go to our website.
Leslie, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Domino's may be known for its pizza, but they're cooking up something new this fall. They've just launched their, one of the most exciting things I've ever can say out of my mouth right now. It's a 5-cheese mac and cheese. And the spicy buffalo version to give it a little bit of a kick. So today, we got Kate Trumbull, Domino's Chief Brand Officer, here to kind of share some fun facts about Domino's, including their most popular topping, busiest day of the year, and how the 64-year-old company keeps things fresh and innovative. Let's welcome her to the show. Kate, how are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Kate, you got to tell us about Domino's latest menu addition, this 5-cheese mac and cheese.
Well, we've been cooking this up because it's perfect for fall. And it's warm, it's delicious, it's cheesy. It comes in 2 varieties. 5-cheese mac and cheese, the classic, as well as spicy buffalo 5-cheese mac and cheese. And if you're looking for a little extra flavor, a little extra spice, you can upgrade it with bacon or jalapeno or both.
All right, that sounds amazing. All right, let's get to these 5 fun facts about Domino's in honor of the 5-cheese mac and cheese. All right, first question. So what was Domino's busiest day of the year? Is it Halloween or New Year's Eve?
Well, actually, there are a few really busy days, and those are 2 of them, as well as the big game.
Okay. Question 2. How many of these pizzas does Domino's usually sell on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yep, on that Sunday, we sell over 2 million pizzas. So just for comparison, if you look at that versus an average Sunday, it's 40% more pizza on the big game Sunday.
All right, number 3. Tell us about the world's fastest pizza maker. What's their record? That sounds amazing.
So Joanna Mendez is this year's world's fastest pizza maker. She made 3 large pizzas in 39.3 seconds. She made them beautifully. And she happens to be the first woman in history to break that record and hold that title.
That's awesome. All right, so the big question, what's the most popular topping in the United States?
It happens to be my favorite topping. It's pepperoni, followed by sausage, bacon, mushroom, and then the most highly debated and discussed topping is pineapple that makes the top 5.
Hey, I'm not a person that shames pineapple eaters on pizza. I'm down with that. I like that. A little savory and sweet at the same time. Everyone's going to get mad at me that hate the pineapple. So I'm fighting for the pineapple. I'm on your side. All right. Where can people grab the new mac and cheese? And are there any deals to help us out and know about it?
For sure. The mac and cheese is available nationwide at all of our stores. You can order it at Domino's.com. And it's part of our most popular discount and deal called $6.99 Mix and Match. And if you're a Domino's Rewards member, you can get a free order of mac and cheese when in exchange for 60 points.
Excelente. And I think this entire crew is looking at me. I think I got to get them lunch today. So finally, where can we go for more information?
You can find more information at Domino's.com.
Kate Trumbull, thanks for joining me this morning. And thanks for the 5 facts. It's amazing.
Thank you, and enjoy lunch.
We will. We will. We all see it. The constant barrage of picture-perfect people in the media, and it's kind of affecting kids earlier than we thought. There's new research from Dove and Blippi that shows, you're going to be surprised, even 4-year-olds are starting to worry about their appearance. So Blippi and Dove are stepping in with the Dove Self-Esteem Project to help kids feel a little better about themselves. So joining us to break this down is Jess Weiner, spokesperson for the Dove Self-Esteem Project. Let's welcome her to the show. Jess, how are you?
I'm so good. Happy to be here.
Jess, the study, I was shocked when I was hearing it. It's pretty eye-opening. Can you share some of the surprising findings that you found about body confidence and some of these even younger kids?
Absolutely. So you might know that Dove and the Dove Self-Esteem Project for the last 20 years have been developing body image curriculum and self-esteem education that's reached over 114 million young people worldwide. And normally in our work, we're focusing on kids 8 and up because we know that body confidence plummets around puberty, heading into middle school. I feel like everybody watching and listening remembers that time. But this new research, as you mentioned, was really shocking. We found that 1 in 4 girls between the ages of 4 and 6 years old were already expressing some dissatisfaction around their body image or appearance. So Dove, being the self-esteem educators that they are, partnered with Blippi to create wonderful content that parents or people with kids in their lives can watch with their young kids and have a conversation while you're singing, while you're dancing with Blippi and Mika. There's a chance to start to build some better communication around body image and self-esteem for kids as young as 4.
So what made Blippi and Dove decide to like team up for this campaign?
Well, it's kind of a match made in heaven, I think, because you've got, the curiosity of Blippi combined with the confidence building tools of Dove. And what I love about the content is that obviously, if you're a Blippi fan, the songs are really addicting and you're going to sing them all day long. But it's fun, it's light, because we want our young kids to feel good about this conversation. And we don't want parents to feel like they have to have a heavy duty conversation about this. In fact, this shouldn't be a one and done convo. This should be something like while you're watching the show or after the show. It's just a way for you to begin to bridge that conversation. So I think the mashup really helps all of us meet kids and parents where they already are.
So how did it all come together?
Well, I think you've got two brands who are deeply committed to the self-esteem education of kids and their families. And I think, look, the research is pretty shocking, as we've talked about. It kind of was a good call to action for both brands who are committed to raising positive and healthy self-esteem in kids to partner up and use their vast platforms and resources to help parents with tools, because we know that a lot of parents aren't even aware yet, perhaps, that this is the right kind of conversation to have. And we, again, want the tools to feel fun and organic. So I think this collaboration helps to make that happen.
And also, as a 40-something-year-old man, I still have self-esteem issues. I know before this, I was cracking jokes about, like, my face is down. I'm like, do you know what? I'm actually perpetuating the stereotype that's been going on. So maybe if we start earlier and people like me in the future wouldn't have to deal with these confidence issues.
Well, you bring up something really good, though, Dan, which is like we often as adults, we may have grown up not examining how we talk about our bodies all the time. And then when we've got little ones around, we do have to be careful about what we say when we look in the mirror or when we try on clothes, because they're really listening. So I think it's always a good opportunity to start. You and I can watch Blippi and have this conversation after.
All right. There are new episodes that focus on this body confidence and self-esteem. What can families expect to see?
So there's already great content, short form content and music videos out there. And you can go to Blippi's YouTube page to look at this incredible 75-minute special that we're launching today. And then, of course, if you want those resources and ways to talk to your kids about body image at a young age, you can go to blippi.com/Dove.
Jess Weiner, you're a hero. Love you. Thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
Emergencies can strike at any moment, and what we do in those crucial seconds can mean the difference between life and death. That's the focus of Hearts of Heroes, where we get to see incredible stories of everyday people stepping up and first responders saving those in need. So today, we're joined by Sheldon Yellen, the host of the show, and Sam Orbovich, who survived a terrifying crash thanks to some heroic Good Samaritans. And they're here to talk about Sam's story and share about some of these life-saving tips that we could all use in case of emergency. Sheldon, Sam, thanks for being here, you two.
Thank you.
All right, Sheldon, you got to tell us about the show Hearts of Heroes and how it captures these amazing stories of like bravery from first responders and everyday heroes.
Sure. So Hearts of Heroes is on ABC. This is our 6th season, as you've mentioned, Dan. And we are so lucky we get to go around the country highlighting the good that first responders do every day and night. They do it selflessly, without thinking about it. They go in when everybody else is running out. In this story that you're going to hear and see this week on Hearts of Heroes, it was 6 innocent bystanders, Good Samaritans, joining together, not knowing each other, to do the right thing and save Sam's life. It's an incredibly inspiring show. We encourage you to watch it. Look it up on YouTube. Watch it on ABC, on weekend local channels, and enjoy the show. It's a great, great experience.
All right, Sam, you got to take us back to the day of the crash. How did these people step in and help save your life?
Well, it was amazing. Their persistence was just incredible. So my car jumped a curb, hit a lamppost. This was a freeway, so I was going at a good rate of speed, and then came to rest about 40 feet later up against the wrong side of a guardrail. At the lamppost, a fire started that followed my car. When I came to, because I was knocked out by the concussion, I saw people trying to pull the door open and pound on the window, and I saw flames in the front, flames on the side, and they were yelling, "Get him out, get him out," and I was saying, "Get me out of here." And one of them, a highway helper, had a window punch, came up, punched the window, and when the window broke, 6 people, Kadir, Michael, Tess, Lacey, David, and Tessa, pulled me out of that car feet first. And if you watch the video, it was about 15, 20 seconds later, that car went up in flames. And while they were doing it, while they were trying to get me out, my tires were exploding and pushing them back, but they kept going back into the fire.
And Sheldon, you hear a lot of these harrowing stories. For those that are watching at home, have you picked up any tips or anything that could help somebody if they find themselves in an emergency, such as a car fire or something like this?
So, Dan, it's pretty timely. Here you are in Tampa, Florida. Belfour is obviously dispersed now in Florida with the hurricane, Florida and the other states. And we all have this belief that it will never happen to me. There is so much that we as individuals and families that we can do in preparation of an emergency. In this scenario, everybody should buy the window punch. It's a small little item that can bust the windshield, bust the side window. You will have a very difficult time, if at all possible, to kick it off, to kick it open, to break that glass. It is not easy to break. This little device can save lives. So I would encourage everybody, for every car you have, to put one in there. In the event of a hurricane, there's a lot we can do. We can be better prepared. When communications go down, is there a meeting place that the family knows to meet at? When power goes out, do you have a generator? If not, what's the backup plan? When a hurricane comes, when tornadoes hit, if a fire happens in your home, what is the preparedness plan? Do you have your insurance papers? Do you have cell phone numbers written down because you may lose access to your phone? There's so much that we can all do better to be prepared. I could tell you that knowing Sam now and obviously being with him as a result of this story, he has bought a lot of these and given them away as gifts to the people he loves. We would encourage everybody, try and do that.
Hey, Sam, thanks for sharing your story with us. And Sheldon, where can we check out the show and learn more about Hearts of Heroes?
Hearts of Heroes is on every week on ABC. Check your local listings on the weekend, and you will be finding it. If you want to go look at past episodes, go to YouTube, Hearts of Heroes. You'll see 5.5 seasons already there.
Sam, Sheldon, thank you two for joining me this morning.
Thank
you, Dan.
And that is it for Rise and Unwind, where we talk about things that lift you up and maybe let you relax on the weekend. If you want to be on the show, join me. Go to our website. That's riseunwindtv.com. I got a form at the bottom of that page that you can fill out. Send us about you, whatever you want to talk about, and maybe we'll chat on an upcoming episode. Follow us on social media. That's Rise Unwind TV, or follow us on YouTube. Until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.